Hello, my name is Eric. I'm a software engineer. In this video series, I'm challenging myself to slow down, break down coding examples, and really deep dive into documentation that folks have spent a lot of time and energy on so that people like me, and probably you, can utilize their library to its fullest extent. Welcome to Documentation Nation. Hello, Documentation Nation. Today we're going to be diving into the Next.js documentation to start learning this framework. If you're not familiar with Next.js, it declares itself on nextjs.org as the React framework for production. Next.js gives you the best developer experience with all the features you need for production. Hybrid, static, and server rendering, TypeScript support, smart bundling, route prefetching, and more. No config needed. Next.js by Vercel, bringing the power of full stack to the front end. So that's pretty interesting, right? It should make making a full stack application with React a little easier for us to handle. I at this point haven't had the opportunity to use Next.js, so I'm really excited to dive into this one and learn a little bit more about it. Building React Server Components app now makes server first the default, which is awesome. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this little bad boy. I want to really get into the documentation and get started. And there's a learn Next.js step by step and earn points. I don't know what kind of points we're talking about here, but I'm intrigued. So let's go ahead and get started and jump into this. Create a Next.js app. To build a complete web application with React from scratch, there are many important details you need to consider. Code has to be bundled. You need to do production optimizations. You might want to statically pre-render some pages for performance and SEO, server-side rendering, client-side rendering. You might have to write some server-side code to connect your React app to your data storage, which is something I've done numerous times already. So I'm very curious to see how that makes that a little bit easier for us to handle. Next.js, the React framework. Enter Next.js, the React framework. Next.js provides a solution to all of the above problems, but more importantly, it puts you and your team in the pit of success when building React applications. What is the pit of success? So we have been linked out to another article here that I'm not going to read through, even though most of it just seems like comments, but pit of success just sounds like the opposite of pit of despair, so we're there. Next.js aims to have best-in-class developer experience and many built-in features such as an intuitive page-based routing system with support for dynamic routes. So if you've programmed in React, if you want to use dynamic routing or routing in general, you want to use React Router or something similar, unless you're building a single page application, in which case no need. Pre-rendering for both static generation and server-side rendering, support on a per-page basis, automatic code splitting, built-in CSS and Sass support, API routes, or routes if you prefer, to build API endpoints with serverless function. About this tutorial, this free interactive course will guide you through how to get started with Next.js. In this tutorial, you'll learn Next.js basics by creating a very simple blog application. Here's an example of the final result. Let's go take a look and see what we're going to be building. Okay, we have a landing page with a little summary introduction, and then links out to blogs, and we can see up here our URL routes to /post/ I can't tell if this is I guess this is just a specific title, right? If I go back to the other one, it's not like it's just titles that are here, which are nice. And there's some information here about static generation and pre-rendering. Cool. We'll keep that open in case we want to refer back to it. This tutorial assumes basic knowledge of JavaScript. Check. And React. Checked. If you've never written React code, you should go through the official React tutorial first. Okay. So they've got documentation here that links out, but I think I want to go through this tutorial first rather than just documentation. And we'll refer back to that if we think we need anything from there. Let's get started. Setup. First, let's make sure that your development environment is ready. I do have Node.js installed, so I'm good. And we'll use our own text editor, and I'm going to use VS Code. If anybody needs a Node.js tutorial, I'm sure I know there are tons available. If you would prefer to see one from me in the future, let me know, and I'll make sure I put one together for you. To create a Next.js app, open your terminal, cd into the directory you'd like to create the app in, and run the following command. npx create next app at latest, Next.js blog, All right, so we're going to be using their example code, probably a starter pack. Under the hood, this uses the tool called Create Next App, which bootstraps a Next.js app for you, uses this template for the example flag. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. So I've already got a folder that I've created here specifically for this project. I'm going to just copy this. Okay. If it doesn't work, take a look at this page. Let's take a look at that page. Oh, it's just a little bit slow. We're good. Okay to proceed. Yes. Okay, after a bit of time, we've got this all downloaded. And let's see if we can get started here. So let's go into the folder that it just set up for us. And we'll run dev. Let's look at this folder before we actually start just blindly following instructions here. We see our node modules. We've got a pages folder that has an index, public folder with a favicon and an SVG. Get in some styles, global CSS. What's that look like? Nothing crazy, just a little bit of, just a small amount of CSS here, and a home.module.css. Let's look at our index file. And here I can see they're inputting that CSS file. That's makes sense. And this is just looking like React code to us, right? Except we've got something called head in here. We've got a main section, h1, some divs, and a footer. And then they've got a style object of some kind at the bottom here. So we'll see what all that is about. So npm run dev, and let's open this thing up and take a look. This is taking a long time. This is why I like Vite. Vite is very fast. Okay, look at this. Compiled client and server successfully in 33.6 seconds. 150 modules. And it still hasn't actually loaded. So let's give that another minute to pick up. Quick review. What text do you see on this page? So far, nothing. I see the favicon is a little car icon, I think. There we go. Welcome to Next.js. That took a really long time. Hey, we've got welcome to Next.js. Correct. Good job. Awesome. Cool. Moving on. Should see a page like this. This is the starter template page, which shows some helpful information about Next.js. Let's try to edit this page. So I'm going to explore on this a little bit first before I do anything. Do these just link out? Can I sell? Yeah, these definitely just link out to clearly, right? Because all we have is an index here that shows our links to things over here. So nothing too crazy really for us to dive into in the code. Let's continue. Editing the page. Let's try editing the starter page. Make sure the Next.js development server is running. It is. Open the index.js with your editor. We're there. I'm going to close the terminal for now. All right. So it just wants us to do a quick update from welcome to learn, right? So, and then save and see the, yeah, it's just showing us how this is going to update, right? As we make changes. We say, oops, learn and save, and there it goes. Not as long as an update this time, but I also saw a little icon in the corner that kind of showed us, what was that icon? Yeah, I guess that's the little loading down there. That's, oh, I'm blocking it actually. So you can't, let's shift me up top here for a second. Sorry if that's jarring. And I just want to show off that little icon. We make another adjustment here and save. And there you go. In our bottom little corner here, we can see that icon before the saving is completed. So that's interesting. Fast refresh enabled. When you make changes to files, Next.js automatically applies the changes to the browser, which we're used to from other frameworks. So let's continue. Or live server if you're using that extension. Talk about creating pages. Navigate between pages. Well, I guess I shouldn't skip over this little note at the bottom. You should keep the development server running, but if you want to restart it, hit Control-C to stop the server, which if you've used other frameworks, you should be familiar with by this point in your terminal. If you're not using the integrated terminal in VS Code, I know there's a number of bootcamp courses out there that continue to use an external or separate terminal server, I guess just for visibility purposes really, but you've got a terminal within VS Code and it's very nice to use, but I'm not going to close or cancel this server or stop this server because it took forever to start up for us, so we'll just continue on. Navigate between pages. So far, the Next.js app we created only has one page. Websites and web applications generally have many different pages. Let's explore how to add more pages to our application. Yes, please. Create a new page using integrated file system routing. Let's look at what that is. Learn how to use the link component to enable client-side navigation between pages. Learn about built-in support for code splitting and prefetching. Here's a detailed documentation on that. Let's open that too, just in case we want to refer out to anything. Well, I do want to see this first, though. Oh, did this bring me to the same thing twice? Sure did. So we're going to keep this open. We're not going to read through this just quite yet, but we'll refer back to that in a few minutes if we think that is necessary. We're continuing. We can skip this page. All right. Navigate between pages. In Next.js, a page is a React component exported from a file in the pages directory. So we've got our pages directory here, which is where index lives. Pages are associated with a route based on their file name. For example, in development, pages/index is the /route or your main route, and then pages posts first post is associated with post first post route. Okay, I already have pages, so let's create pages/posts post.js. So it wants us right now to go within our pages directory, make a subdirectory called posts. And within that subdirectory, we're going to make a first post.js file. And it's instructing us to use JS, not JSX. So that's an interesting note. All right, we're there. And let's set up our functional component. All right, this is no different than React if we're familiar with that and used to that. And we're just going to return an h1, which, Emmett, please help me. Here we go. All right, there's our first posts page. Component can have any name. We must export it as a default export, which we are used to already. Make sure that development server is running. And we can navigate right to it, right? So let's go do that. I'm going to move there's our page all the way at the end. /posts/first-post. And here we go. We've navigated to our page without any kind of routing set up, which is super nice to just be able to just plug and play with that. That's really simple and easy. This is how you can create different pages in Next.js. Simply create a JS file under the pages directory, and the path to the file becomes the URL path. That is really nice. In a way, this is similar to building websites using HTML or PHP files. Instead of writing HTML, you write JSX and use React components. Let's add a link to the newly added page so that we can navigate to it from the home page. Quick review. Let's do it. If you wanted to add a new route, /authors/me, what would the file name be, including the directory? Boy, authors/me.js, including the main directory pages/authors/me.js, right? Correct. Good job. We did it. We're learning. This is fun. Learning is fun. Link a component. When linking between pages on websites, use the you use the anchor tag. In Next.js, you can use the link component, next/link, to link between pages in your application. Link allows you to do client-side navigation and accepts props. They give you better control over the navigation behavior. Okay. Now I open this for a second just to see if there's anything interesting in here. And I think this is going to walk us through the same basic thing. So we'll hold that open just for the time being. Using link. First, open pages index. So we'll go back to our index file. And we need to import this, right? Just like they imported head. So we import link from next/link link. And then down here, we replace our anchor tag with link. On both ends, I do have a extension that handles that for me. And we're changing our href to just our location for this posts/first post. And we're going to link back to home. So we're going to do the same kind of thing. Import link from next/link. And we've got our first post. We're going to expand this out. And because we're going to render a bunch of stuff here. And we know we're going to need a fragment because we're going to have an H1 and an H2. Let's put a fragment there. Thank you. Let's get inside my return. Put that fragment. Let's put an H2. And we're going to link again. What if I do? I wonder, I'm going to have to do a. Yeah, there we go. Link to. Within that link, this is a prop, I guess it's saying it accepts our href just to back to the home page and back to home. Save that. So this is saying same kind of deal. We just replace the anchor tag with link, and that's easy enough. It used to require wrapping in an anchor tag. So if we look at some older code, we might expect to see that. And now if we go look at what we've got over here, just like that, it's that easy. So let's continue on. The link component enables client-side navigation between two pages in the Next.js app. Client-side navigation means that the page transition happens using JavaScript, which is faster than the default navigation done by the browser. Code splitting and prefetching. Next.js does code splitting automatically, so each page only loads what's necessary for that page. That means when the home page is rendered, the code for other pages is not served initially. This ensures that the home page loads even if you have hundreds of pages, all right? Okay, I see. This is the super interesting part right here. In a production build of Next.js, whenever link components appear in the browser's viewport, Next.js automatically prefetches the code for the linked page in the background. By the time you click the link, the code for the destination page will already be loaded in the background and the page transition will be near instant. That is very cool. That means we're almost feeling like we're using a single page application that has all the code already loaded in our browser, but it's not, right? So if you've got multiple pages, you're going to preload the pages that are available to be clicked from whatever page you're on. That's very interesting. And we just use outside routing the same way as we typically would with just an anchor tag. Awesome. Quick review. A user opens their browser and navigates to yourblog.com/post/first post. What JavaScript is initially loaded for this page? Only JavaScript for first post is loaded, or JavaScript for the entire application? Well, it should be only that page, right? Assuming no links on there. Correct. Good job. Excellent. Next lesson. We're rocking and rolling over here. Because we're definitely going on to another section here, right? And I think doing these in smaller chunks might be nicer. Okay. So we have our basic introduction now to Next.js. We have learned how to handle links and routing, and we learned the benefit of links and routing within Next.js. So we'll pick this up next time with assets, metadata, and CSS, and we'll continue on this little course. Thank you for joining along, Documentation Nation. We'll see you soon.